After I spent a week in the hospital with pneumonia, I came home to an empty fridge and a husband who said, "You always act like being sick is an excuse." I found a wine glass in the sink, with lipstick I didn't wear. When I asked about it, he smirked and said, "Maybe it's yours from before." I checked our door camera. It wasn't. The next night, I left a single envelope on his pillow. Inside was a note, "Thanks for teaching me how to lie." He laughed. Until his phone buzzed with dozens of messages from his clients. I'd sent them the footage too. I don't know where to begin. My hands are still shaking. It's been 3 weeks since I got out of the hospital and my whole life flipped. I'm 39 years old. I live, or used to live, in Owensboro, Kentucky. I've been married to Drew for 5 years. He's 42. We met at a Chamber of Commerce networking event. He was charming, good at talking to people, the kind of man who remembered your name even if you only spoke once. He made you feel seen. I thought I hit the jackpot. For a while, I did. But then, slowly, he changed. Or maybe he didn't change at all. Maybe I just stopped making excuses. I got pneumonia in early April. It started like a cold. I was coughing a little, tired, but figured it would pass. It didn't. By the 5th day, I couldn't take a full breath without pain. The pressure in my chest was so heavy I thought I was having a heart attack. I collapsed in the hallway. My neighbor, Terry, heard me coughing and came over. She's the one who called 911. I was in the hospital for 7 days. 7 days on oxygen, antibiotics, fluids. I didn't even have the strength to hold my phone some days. Drew visited twice. The first visit, he didn't ask how I was feeling. Just said, "You've got to stop letting stress make you sick." I remember lying there thinking, is this real? The second visit, he told me he had to leave early because he had some client stuff. I didn't argue. I didn't have the energy. But inside, something started to feel off. I came home on a Friday afternoon. I'd messaged Drew from the hospital, told him I was being discharged. He said, "Cool. That's it. Just cool." He didn't come to get me. I took a lift home. When I walked in, the house was quiet. Too quiet. Like no one had lived in it for a week. My suitcase was still by the door where I left it. My throw blanket was in the exact same spot. It didn't even look like he'd sat on the couch. Then I went to the kitchen. The fridge was empty. I mean empty. Nothing on the shelves. Not even ketchup. I opened every drawer. Gone. The trash was full of old takeout containers and an empty bottle of wine. That's when I saw the wine glass in the sink. I picked it up. It had a thick, red lipstick smear on the rim. I haven't worn lipstick in over a year. Drew hates it. Says it tastes like chemicals. I set the glass down and stared at it. When Drew got home that night, I was on the couch. He walked in, tossed his keys in the bowl, and said, "Oh hey, you're back. Feeling better?" I asked him about the wine glass. I said it casually, like it wasn't burning a hole in my brain. He looked at me, smirked, and said, "Maybe it's yours from before." Before what? Before the hospital? Before the last time I wore lipstick a year ago? I didn't respond. Just looked at him. He walked off like it didn't matter. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about that glass. About the way he smirked. Like I was stupid. Like he didn't even care enough to lie properly. I got up at 2 a.m. and opened the doorbell app on my phone. We installed a door camera last year after someone stole a package. It saves video for 30 days. I scrolled back to the days I was in the hospital. There she was. Tuesday night. Tall woman, long black hair, red purse. She walked right up to our door with him, laughing. He opened the door and let her in. She kissed him before they went inside. I stared at the screen. I watched it again. And again. I took screenshots. I downloaded the video. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just sat there. At 5 a.m., I started planning. Drew is a financial advisor. Works from home 2 days a week. Runs his own business. He prides himself on being trustworthy, careful, smart. His clients are mostly older people with money, people who care about character. He keeps their info on a shared server we both used. I used to help with admin stuff before I got my full-time job. So I made a list. Names. Emails. Phone numbers. The next day, I acted like everything was fine. Made coffee. Cleaned the kitchen. Even asked him if he wanted to watch a movie that night. He looked surprised but didn't question it. He left around noon to go meet a client. I spent the day drafting emails. Short and simple. I didn't make it dramatic. Just attached the footage and wrote, "You trust Drew with your money. This is what he does behind closed doors. Think twice." I scheduled them to go out at 7:15 p.m. Then I made dinner. Spaghetti. Garlic bread. His favorite. He ate like nothing was wrong. Kept talking about how tired he was. "Clients are being real needy lately," he said. "One of them's acting like a divorce is my fault." I almost laughed. After dinner, he went to shower. While he was in there, I left a white envelope on his pillow. Inside was a piece of paper that said, "Thanks for teaching me how to lie." I walked out the door. Drove to the end of the block. Parked and waited. At 7:16, his phone started buzzing. Once. Twice. Again. Over and over. He came out onto the porch, phone in one hand, looking around like he could feel me watching. I didn't move. I just sat there, headlights off, watching him slowly realize what was happening. He tried calling me. I didn't answer. He tried texting. I didn't read them. By midnight, he'd called 12 times. Sent 20 messages. One said, "Why are you doing this?" Another said, "You're blowing this way out of proportion." No, Drew. I'm finally reacting the right amount. The next morning, I woke up on my sister's couch to the sound of her coffee maker hissing. I hadn't slept much. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that lipstick on the wine glass. I saw his face when he read the note. I checked my phone. 27 unread messages from Drew. 4 missed calls from his office number. 1 voicemail from a woman I didn't recognize. Her voice was tight. Cold. "This is Annette Tillman. I've been one of Drew's clients for 3 years. I saw the video. You did the right thing." I stared at the phone. I hadn't expected to hear that. I wasn't even sure what I expected. Maybe silence. Maybe people thinking I was crazy. But not this. Not support. By noon, it got worse for Drew. I didn't even have to do anything. Word spread. Drew's whole business was built on this image of being steady. Loyal. Reliable. That's what he sold. He wasn't just advising people about stocks. He was the guy who helped them rewrite their wills, plan college savings for grandkids, pick retirement dates. He told them he'd never let them down. But now? They were all wondering what else he was lying about. My sister's husband, James, works at a bank downtown. He told me someone came in asking about pulling funds from an account Drew managed. Said 3 people did the same thing that week. Meanwhile, Drew kept trying to get a hold of me. He started out smug. Then got angry. Then desperate. One message read, "You're ruining my life." Over a mistake. Another, "We can fix this if you stop now." And then, the one that pissed me off the most, "I was lonely. You were always tired or sick." What did you expect? Like it was my fault for almost dying. That same day, I got another voicemail. This one wasn't from a client. It was from her. The woman in the video. She said, "Hi, I don't know if this is your number. I found it on Drew's emergency contacts. I think we need to talk. He told me you two were separated." I didn't call her back. I wasn't ready. But I saved the message. Just in case. 2 days later, Drew showed up at my sister's house. I saw his car pull into the driveway and felt my stomach twist. He didn't even knock, just rang the bell and waited. My sister opened the door. He asked if he could speak to me. She said, "She doesn't want to see you. You should leave." He tried to push past her. That's when James came in and stood behind her. "You heard her," James said. "Go." Drew left, but not before yelling, "You think you've won? You think any of this helps you? You just made yourself look crazy." But I didn't feel crazy. I felt clear. Later that week, I filed for legal separation. Not divorce yet. I wanted to freeze the joint accounts first, and that takes time. I also had my lawyer file an injunction to prevent him from selling any assets while we're sorting out property. He tried to fight it, but he was already too busy trying to stop the bleeding in his business. Then, the story twisted again. One of his former clients, a man named Charles from Henderson, filed a formal complaint with the state board. Said Drew gave him inappropriate advice and acted unprofessionally. He attached the same footage I sent. More complaints followed. Some of them about money. Some about Drew lying. Some just angry, saying they couldn't trust him anymore. Drew's license is now under review. He can't legally take new clients until the investigation ends. I didn't expect it to go that far. But I can't say I'm sorry. And then, one night, I got a message on Facebook. From her. The woman from the video. Her name is Claire. She's 35. She's a dental tech who lives 2 towns over. She had no idea Drew was married. He told her I was his crazy ex who moved out 2 years ago. She sent me screenshots of their texts. Pictures. Receipts. One of the pictures was taken in our bed. My bed. From the night I was in the ICU. I called her that night. We talked for 3 hours. She cried. I cried. Then we laughed. Not because it was funny. But because it was so disgusting we didn't know what else to do. Claire told me she dumped him the minute she saw the video. Said he tried to spin it like I was stalking him. Said I was trying to ruin him because I couldn't handle a breakup. She said she didn't believe a word of it. Now she's talking to my lawyer too. She's willing to make a statement if this goes to court. I'm not sure what's coming next. I know the real fallout is just beginning. For both of us. But one thing's for sure, Drew's not smirking anymore. 2 weeks after Claire and I spoke, things took another turn I wasn't expecting. I was at my sister's house, going over paperwork with my lawyer over Zoom, when my phone buzzed. It was a text from a number I didn't know. It said, "You don't know me, but I used to work for your husband. I think you should see something." I froze. My lawyer saw my face change and asked if everything was okay. I told her I needed a minute. The message was from a woman named Eliza. She was Drew's office assistant for about a year. I remembered him mentioning her once. He called her slow and said she wasn't a good fit. He let her go 6 months ago. I texted her back and asked what she meant. She replied with, "He told people I stole money from the company. That's why he fired me." But I didn't. "I think you already know he's a liar." Then she sent me a screenshot. It was a blurry photo of Drew's computer screen from his office. A spreadsheet. Names, account numbers, balances. Some numbers had small notes next to them, things like move 5K Friday and shift for expense cover. Eliza said she saw Drew moving client money into a separate account every month. It wasn't a ton, she wrote. But it was weird. Like just under amounts that would raise flags. She never told anyone because she was scared. But now that the truth was out about his personal life, she figured it was time. I passed the screenshot to my lawyer immediately. That's when things accelerated. A few days later, my lawyer got a call from someone in the state board's office. They wanted to meet. Turns out, Drew had been under a quiet audit even before I released the footage. There were whispers already. Small inconsistencies, delayed transfers, mismatched records. Nothing concrete. But Eliza's screenshot opened the door wide. Then Claire stepped up. She gave a full statement, backed up by their messages, dates, locations. Confirmed he used work funds to pay for 2 of their weekend trips, including one hotel he listed as a conference expense. Everything was unraveling. And Drew? He started getting reckless. He began leaving voicemails, slurring his words. I could hear a bottle clinking in the background. One night, he showed up outside my sister's place again, drunk, pounding on the door. My sister called the cops. He was gone by the time they arrived, but now there's a report on file. The next day, I got a letter from his attorney. A warning letter. Saying I acted maliciously and with intent to damage reputation and that Drew was exploring defamation claims. My lawyer laughed. There's a big difference between defamation and evidence, she said. Still, Drew tried everything. He even contacted my job. Tried to tell them I was unstable and causing problems in the community. But I'd already talked to my boss. They'd seen the story. They knew what was happening. HR shut him down before he even finished the second call. And just when I thought he might crawl back into his hole and disappear, something else surfaced. Another woman. This one wasn't local. She messaged me on Instagram. Said she lived in Nashville. Met Drew at a conference last fall. Same story, he told her he was separated. That his wife was controlling. That she was emotionally abusive. She ended things when he got too clingy. Said he started showing up at her work unannounced. She'd blocked him months ago. But when she saw the story spreading online, when clients started talking, she put 2 and 2 together. So now there are 3 of us. Me. Claire. And this woman from Nashville. We've talked. Compared notes. Shared screenshots. We're all filing statements. Not just to the board, but also to the state attorney general's office. There could be fraud charges. There could be jail time. And me? I'm still not done. The last time I saw Drew was in a courtroom. It wasn't for the divorce, not yet. This was something bigger. The state brought charges against him for financial misconduct. Not just because of what Eliza said or the screenshots. Not just because of Claire or the Nashville woman. But because once everything started spilling out, more people came forward. Turns out, Drew had been playing games with people's money for years. Nothing massive. Just enough to stay under the radar. Just enough to keep funding whatever life he wanted to live, nights out, hotel rooms, expensive wine, dinners with women who didn't know they were sleeping with a married man. And he would have gotten away with it. If I hadn't gotten pneumonia. If I hadn't come home early. If I hadn't seen that wine glass in the sink. In the courtroom, he looked like a different person. His suit didn't fit right. His hair was messy. He looked thinner, like the lies had been feeding him more than food ever did. I sat 2 rows behind the prosecution. I wasn't allowed to speak, but I didn't need to. My face, my name, my emails, they were all part of the evidence. He didn't look at me once. Claire was there too. So was Eliza. The woman from Nashville couldn't come in person, but her statement was read aloud. When the part came up where Drew showed up at her job and wouldn't leave until security forced him out, I saw one juror shake their head. It didn't take long. The verdict, guilty. They didn't put him in prison that day. But he was immediately taken into custody. Sentencing would come later. His bail was denied. That night, I sat in my sister's kitchen with a glass of bourbon and just breathed. No TV. No music. Just me and the sound of the ice melting. And still, I didn't feel happy. Not exactly. I felt done. The truth is, I made mistakes too. I ignored signs. I excused things that shouldn't have been excused. I kept trying to fix something that wasn't broken, it was rotting. And I stayed too long. I let myself disappear in a marriage where I did all the caring. All the cooking. All the believing. I kept thinking love was about being patient. About waiting for him to come back to the man I thought he was. But he was never coming back. And I think a part of me knew that. That's why the moment I saw that lipstick, something in me flipped. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I just started moving. And now? Now he's gone. His business is gone. His license is gone. His little empire of lies, blown up from the inside. By me. The divorce is finalized. I got the house. He didn't even fight me for it. Probably because he knew it was filled with reminders of what he lost. I painted the walls. Changed the locks. Donated the furniture. Got a new mattress. Burned the old sheets. And I sleep better now. Not perfect. Not peaceful. But better. The last thing Drew ever sent me was a letter from jail. 4 pages of blame, half apologies, and whining. I never opened it. I shredded it, tossed it in the trash, and walked away. Because some things don't deserve to be read. Some people don't deserve to be forgiven. And sometimes, the best revenge isn't about rage. It's about being done. Really, truly done.